If evil thrives, we should put in our own evil. Now, what am I saying? Well, look around you. People are just doing things off rip, out of whack, willy nilly. And most of those things is more often than not, most likely cruel and very selfish, because a lot of people are out for themselves, and that is selfishness. Even myself, even yourselves, because we have no choice. And I'm not saying that we are all innocent, and I'm also not saying we are all evil. Those of us that were quite giving and quite good back in the day, we had to switch up. But those of them that are by default cruel and all that, well, is pretty much their second nature, isn't it? But those of us, we have to adjust and get used to it, to being cruel and evil and selfish, so we can get ahead in life. Get ahead in life and excel and propagate, propel forward, just to make it, just to survive, because we are just here to survive pretty much. Back in the day, we can say we are living, we create memories, not just existing. But now, pretty much, it's the other way around. We are just existing, surviving, making ends meet, this and that. But those of them that can't take it anymore, they just commit shoe size. Shoe size. Choose your shoe size. I can't say the real word, as you know. But what do I mean by we should put in our own evil is maybe similar-minded people. We do things that maybe aligns or harmonizes with one another, that is peaceful and mutual. And then on the opposing side, they look at us as weirdos, and it doesn't align with their what they do. It doesn't harmonize. It's not mutual. It doesn't pair up. It doesn't match. It's completely different, or maybe some things are different, or they just don't like it. Which is none of their business, because we're just doing what we want or what we feel comfortable doing. And then somehow they have a problem, even though what we do, the the baseline, I guess, the foundation is like evil and selfish, because selfishness is evil, I believe. But they do the same things, but in a different approach. This is what I mean by we should put in our own evil. Because how is it fair when their kind of evil or their kind of actions and whatever they do is able to get ahead and is somewhat accepted, or is just accepted overall? But when we do pretty much the same things, us types of people, the different types, the scapegoats, the odd one out, the oddball, somehow when we try to do it just to get ahead, to fit in and whatever, for some reason it's unacceptable, because you're quote unquote not that kind of person. You're not the satisfactory desired types. You're the just completely different. No matter what you do in whatever settings, you always stand out, and that is me. I'm one of them. Not to show off, just being honest. And I also have some different things that I do. I do things differently. It's not exactly the same, but here and there I do follow the same things that other people do too, because I don't see any other way. Oh, but for some reason, as long as it's me, and as long as it's some people like you, those that agree with me, those of you, there's a problem. There's a problem within the system, the matrix and all that, a glitch in the matrix, as people say. It doesn't make sense. And then this is what I mean when we take things here and there and leave the rest behind, those that relate and resonate with us. We can integrate, we can make it into the framework and into the database, the motherboard and all that of the machine, and then let it a function, like a generator, and then let it process. Oh, and then someone comes around and sees, what is this? What is that? Why is it different? Oh, and then somehow it's a problem overall, and then they want to gossip, word of mouth, share the news, and make it go all everywhere, most places, and then people know about it, and then they want to team up and this and that. It's like fighting fire with fire, fighting evil with evil, you know. My kind of evil is different from your kind of evil. We're all just trying to get ahead. We're all just trying to survive and all that. But for some reason, we can't see eye to eye, face to face, and then harmonize with each other and just, you know, try to get ahead, try to help each other and all that. You know, it's a impossibility at this point, especially when we're trying to like overthrow and go against the the oven mittens men, you know, also known as government, and those higher than them, the elite. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. But I also do my own quote unquote evil, my own kind of selfishness. But as long as it's me, right, and then it's unacceptable all of a sudden, you should be doing good. They're manipulating me. They're manipulating you. They want you to do good so that they can take advantage of you. That's all. I can see right through them. You can see right through them. Or if you can't, practice. Watch their actions and not what they say. As people have said it already. Watch what they do, not what they say. And yeah, even though there's a saying, do as I say, not as I do. Nah, fuck that. Excuse my language. In this case, screw you. Who are you to tell me to do what you do? You know, and even if I follow suit, follow accordingly what you tell me to do, you know. As long as I'm a oddball, different from you and all that, you can see right through me also, no matter how much I try to hide it. At least personally for me, I thought people aren't able to see it, but I'm mistaken, sorely mistaken. They can actually see it. They can feel it. What are you trying to hide, you know? What am I trying to hide? Thinking that people don't know. Yeah, they do. They do. They can feel it. They can see it. You know, this is what I mean when I try to do similar things as them. For some reason, it's a problem. You know, exact copy, exact replica. As long as I'm not one of them and I do it, and then there's a problem. It's wrong. You know, and I'm just trying to fit in and all that. You know, and it's funny that I'm being myself mostly because I tried to fit in and it didn't work previously, like a good few years ago, and I mean like 7 or 8 years, almost a decade. And then now I'm trying to get back into the game and all that because there's just too many of those blue pill normies, NPCs, non-playable characters and all that. So much so where I have to get ahead, and to get ahead, in order to do that, you're gonna have to fit in whether you like it or not. But I still be myself though, you know, because it's really straining. It's like constipation. You're trying to fit in, but you just cannot. You're so used to being yourself, naturalized as it should be, since the day we were born. But no, society wants all the societal stuff to be smeared and rubbed onto our beings, onto our skin, and then it gets permeated into our skin. You know, because it's porous and absorbent, and then it just runs in our veins at this point, and then we create families, and then same thing, you know, do this, do that, do these, do those, get all this wealth, get all these materials, blah blah blah, you know, the whole shebang, the whole 9 yards. Barely any uniqueness, and then someone else wants to be unique and different, and then they get shunned and put down. It's always these, you know, always these control tactics. And that's also why there's all these stigmas, societal stigmas, taboos, you know, those that we cannot follow, we cannot do and all that, even though there's nothing wrong with it. But for some reason, we're not allowed to go against the grain, you know, be rebellious and stand out. Even though you see these products and all these companies and promoting their stuff, right? And then they say, we gotta stand out, we gotta be unique, we gotta be different. Don't be afraid to be different. And then it comes back full circle, only to end up being the same things as society. You know, isn't it funny? Or at least most of it, most parts of it, most parts about it. That's what I realized. I don't know if you noticed, but I've noticed that. And I just cringe at this. Like, meh, All you're doing is trying to market. All you're trying to do is promote. That's all. But it ends up full circle being similar. This is why I said when people say they want to be themselves or they're being themselves or they trying to be unique, it always comes back full circle as being the similar thing as the next person and the next and the next and so on. And I'm like, are you sure? Are you actually sure? It's so similar. It's like the standard, you know. Ooh, the standard. You wanna be unique? Here's the benefit of the doubt. You can be like this and you cannot get out of it. It all belongs in this square, you know, in this cube. You cannot think outside of the box. It has to be in the box, in the cubicle, like the office, you know, offices, your workplaces, the corporate jobs. So, yeah, you know those corporate jobs. Fuck them. I don't understand how people like corporate jobs. I don't understand how people make it their dream job. Can you believe it? Dream job? I know you'll be going there sleeping all day and dreaming. That's what you know, that's what I'd be doing if I was you. Don't be working and all that and quite quitting and all this and all that. You're just lying to yourself when you say you're okay with it. And deep down you're not, and then people try to bring it out of you. You're just so butthurt. You've lied to yourself too much, and it's beyond belief and it's way too far. To the point where they're trying to bring you back to reality, back to center, so that you can start fresh and have a good restart. And start anew, finally doing what you want. But no, instead you go against them, you want to fight them, you want to combat, you get so combative, you get so argumentative and all that. You know, pretty much my parents, pretty much my family, and I'm sure a lot of y'all's families also are like that, you know. Trying to help you, you know. We're trying to help you, you understand? No, you're trying to attack me. Ooh, get away. Because they're so comfortable because of insecurity and butthurt that they have made that their home. They have become hermits to those things that clearly do not serve them. And it's also they're drained of energy. You know, this is what society is trying to do to you. Drain you of energy so that you don't have enough brain power and energy to think for yourself. And also body energy to get your butt off your seats, flying by the seat of your pants. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, whatever. And try to initiate stuff for yourself before your time is up, you know. Just like a Pitbull and Neo. About a week ago, I worked my ass off, but I still get paid enough. Get paid low, but I got just enough. Okay, enough. Copyright. But yeah, time of our life. Yeah. A lot of us just want time of our lives and enjoy and all that. Blah blah blah. As do I. As do I. Even though I'm fucking studying right now. I still got 2 years. Bloody stupid. I did not ask for this. This is why I made a video, you know, before this one. Martyr of freedom. Martyr of freedom. I die for freedom. I die. It's a vow. It's not a promise. It's not a swear. It's a vow. A solemn vow. You know? But yeah. I've been blabbering a whole lot about this. Issues happening in society and blah 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 going on, you know. It's really frustrating, sickening, draining. Just get so fed up. A lot of us have become grumpy to it already, like grumpy grandfathers and grumpy grandmothers, you know. And societies are our grandchildren. It's like, get out, you know. Don't disturb grandma, don't disturb grandpa. What the hell? We want some privacy, you know. Especially when we are in our old age, you know, senior citizens. We just want some peace, okay? But no, society constantly wants to scratch and claw at us, pick at our wounds, rub salt on our wounds, add injuries to our wounds. What am I saying? Add insult to injuries, to our injuries, you know. I got that misconstrued. I apologize. You know the saying. So, yeah, I've rambled quite a bit already. we should instill our own evil, we should integrate our evil with the evil of others and don't give a damn, we're just trying to get ahead and survive and all that. And who the frick cares if they look at us different, just because we don't harmonize and integrate and don't mutualize with them and all that. So what? We do things differently, but it's toward the common goal and all that, because not every one of us is the same. That's why most people still get confused, and they are so narcissistic and they don't want to believe otherwise. So it's always this one way or the highway, my way or the highway. It is so stupid. Even though if I did not mention, then I'll mention it here. Even though I do believe in one or none, one standard or no standard, but in this case, no. I mean, like, some things, maybe like relationships, maybe one standard in the sense where it's a two-way street when it comes to relationships. It should not change ever. It's not one-way street. It's two-way street. That's the standard. No other standards should come along, should be put into this. That's what I'm saying. Okay, off topic, but yeah, if evil thrives, we should put in our own evil. You just do you, and I just do me. Even if it's different, even if it irks someone, rubs someone the wrong way and all that, that's their problem. It's a them problem, it's not a me problem, it's not a you problem. It only is if we do the work, we put in the work and we see the errors and all that, then sure, we will change here and there and all that, but do they? Barely. Or almost never. And then they have the audacity to talk about us. They don't look at themselves in the mirror. Unbelievable. So yeah, be you, do you. If evil thrives, or if evil can thrive, we should put in our evil so that we can thrive also. But it's the kind of evil that we feel comfortable in doing, and it matches with us, and it's what we do, even if it does not harmonize and mutualize with other people. So yeah, signing out now. Adios.